Public Access FC.
Hi, this is Daniel Díaz, host of Public Access FC, a new show about football culture and everything that we love about the game. Today I'm joined by Pete Bogdis, Mallie Hill, and Jason Crayne from the Northsiders, the original supporter group of San Francisco City FC. Together, we will be chatting about football in San Francisco, soccer, fan culture in the US, and the challenges that the club is currently facing. Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
So, yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Super excited. This is the third episode in a multi-part series about SF City FC. I'm just going to introduce you, read your biographies, and then we can get into it. So, starting with Jason to my left. Jason is a Bay Area native. Spent 5 years in the USMC, US Marine Corps.
That's correct.
I want to say, and also attended SF City College. Jason was a Google chef. Is currently working on opening his own restaurant and is an SF City FC fan until death. Cool.
Yeah.
Pete, fourth generation Panathinaikos supporter, born and raised in the Bay Area. Pete is a baker by trade and an artist by hobby, an SF City FC lifetime member and co-founder of the Northsiders supporters group. Pete and his wife of 29 years have been actively involved with dog rescue groups their entire marriage.
Correct.
Which is awesome. That's very cool. And then finally, Mallie, born and raised in the East Bay. She works in local politics and brings that same energy to the terraces as a proud Northsider of nearly a decade. An early riser during the off-season to catch international matches, Mallie is passionate about growing the grassroots and women's game from the ground up, and has volunteered for years with initiatives like the Homeless World Cup. Awesome. Very cool. So we like to start every episode with a quote from Uruguayan journalist and writer Eduardo Galeano's book, Football in Sun and Shadow, which I highly recommend if you haven't checked it out and you're a football fan. And I think, like us, are interested in like the humanity, the emotion, the culture, and everything that surrounds the game off the pitch. So here we go. Rarely does the fan say, "My club plays today." They say, "We play today." They know it is player number 12 who stirs up the winds of fervor that propel the ball when she falls asleep, just as the other 11 players know that playing without their fans is like dancing without music. I chose that quote for this episode because, you're the first supporter group that San Francisco City FC's had. I see you at the games. I see you, setting a standard, essentially, not only when it comes to creating an atmosphere, but also when it comes to bringing people together and kind of inviting them into the club. So yeah, it felt fitting. And, for anyone that hasn't seen the other episodes, I think it's important to point out that, SF City is a community-owned club, and it's the oldest community-owned soccer club in the US. The first question I like to ask all of our guests is, just for each of you to tell me like your own connection to the sports, to football, and your kind of like personal story with it. Yeah, who wants to start?
Just go online. Ladies first.
Playing soccer as a youth, and then, following internationally, later on in the World Cups and stuff like that. Pete here introduced me to a club in Burlingame that popped up, and we were looking for some sort of community, not just, watching some international team play. And that was the Dragons, and it was terrible and corporate and phony, and we didn't even make it through most of a season. And so Pete went back to the drawing board and came back to me and said, "Hey, there's this club, SF City. Let's go check it out. And I mean, the matches were up at Crocker Amazon at dead of night, and almost never been so cold in your life. People think the Keys are cold as something, and it's not.
Right.
That's like it's afternoon at the park compared to Crocker Amazon, and there was 8 of us there, and it just felt right. And then just we've grown since then to the point we're at. But so I really don't follow international. I'm a Red Devil fan on some level. My great grandmother was from Belgium, but I'm not. San Francisco is the only team that I actually support.
Right. And just to clarify, that's Belgium's national team, the Red Devils, as opposed to Manchester United.
Yes. I don't know if there's any arguments there. I don't want to get into that.
Or America de Cali for Colombian fans as well, to the Red Devils back there. But but yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, Mallie, how about you?
I first got into soccer when I moved to Portland for school and started watching international matches, and then ended up getting season tickets to what was the USL team, Timbers up there, and then was there when they were promoted to MLS, which was kind of an exciting time. And then Thorns, their women's team tickets, and I was a bartender at a Bosnian soccer bar. And when I moved back home, I had devoted so much of my brain to soccer. I'm like, I'm not going to get this back. Yeah. So I gotta see what's going on down here, and found SF City FC, and rest is history.
Nice, cool. And then Pete, you mentioned in your bio, we mentioned you're a 4th generation Panathinaikos fan.
Yeah. I was born the week that Panathinaikos played the European Cup final against Ajax at Wembley. And my dad and uncle used to joke to me that my birth was the second best thing that happened that week. So, I mean, I still have the scarf that's hung over my crib like my whole life. So it's always been a part of my life. And growing up playing AYSO, and like he said earlier about Pele, it was like during like the Pele craze, and it was never you're gonna grow up and play for the Cosmos or whatever team. It was just like, you're gonna play for Panathinaikos. You're gonna be the left back for Panathinaikos. And then the original Earthquakes. Back in the day, I used to go see them a little bit, but my big love was in the local city league. There was a team called Greek Americans. So we would my family would go to church and then go to football afterwards. And when they actually ended up winning the Open Cup a couple times, and they just stopped for some reason. And after that, I was like, okay, all I have is I don't have any local teams. I'll just focus on my team in Greece. And then, like he was saying, we found this team because we both lived down on the peninsula. And we went to a few Dragons games, and we're like, oh, this is horrible, mom and Flanders' family. So then when I heard there was a supporter-owned team starting, I was like, that's what I want to do. So that's how I got involved.
And we did have some fun times with City going down to Burlingame to cheer for the City against the Dragons.
Right, I'm sure.
So that was fun after the fact.
Yeah, these are all friends.
I like to point out that we're all a little hoarse because we had that big match against
of course.
the Glens last night.
Local derby.
And we blew it out a little bit down there.
Yeah. I mean, very, very justified after that last minute winner.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stop watching.
Yeah, the highlight.
Clip.
Yeah, with the commentary.
Yeah,
it's great.
Wild.
Really great.
I'm just super happy that we have the ability to have a clip.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
most teams,
from multiple angles.
You don't get anything.
Yeah.
Cameras don't work or anyway.
Yeah. No, the standard of the highlights have been pretty solid. Yeah, it's good. And yeah, I mean, speaking of yesterday's game, I feel like the support was awesome. I think, as we mentioned, Northsiders kind of setting the standard in terms of like creating an atmosphere and like really being present and bringing numbers to all of the games. Tell me a bit about your group. Tell me about the Northsiders, how it started, what you're all about, and what you get up to.
Hey, Pete.
You want to go? You want to go? You're a spokesperson.
History is all you.
Yeah.
The first game as a supporter-owned club was in Redwood City, and it was a U.S. Open Cup qualifier, and it was me and this legend, SF City legend named Mike Donos. A couple other people were there, and we were talking about we need to start like an ultras group for this team. And then the talk started, what are we going to call it? Well, we'll just deal with that. We got together with a bunch of other people and started painting a tifo. And the name just kind of was like, because we don't want to have like a military based, like squadron or anything like that. So I was like, we could do like, we seem to gather on the north side of whatever field we've played on. So let's just do Northsiders. So that stuck. And then the pigeon is a whole other story. But that's our mascot, is the Kezar pigeon. We stand for inclusion and anti-fascism, and smashing Nazis was like a big thing. But the main part is supporting our club.
Yeah.
And we don't sell merch. That's also been a big thing. Like a lot of American club supporters groups, they go out and sell t-shirts with their name on it and scarves and everything. We want our fans wearing city gear.
Yeah.
And that's, as a supporter-owned club, the merch is a big way that we survive and make money. So there's just like the stuff that little like packet I gave you, like we'll make patches and like this kind of stuff that we'll just hand out. But
really nice stuff.
That's just to get people interested.
Yeah.
And so
I think that quote that you mentioned, the energy that the Northsiders bring, that you can see visibly the team reacting, and that you can feel the audience coming behind you, and the crowd really surging. I think that's like an essential element of what the Northsiders are and what we bring to the stadium and to the team. And seeing the team react, seeing the players react, and then come up to us when they score is just one of the best parts.
Yeah, I think that's been really striking. At the end of the games, the players personally coming, shaking everyone's hand, saying thank you, and it seems so sincere. And I think there's that level of like proximity to the team, to the game, that I think you see kind of like a return to it in like the new stadiums that are kind of being built in England, at least, where like you get, you have a lot of stadiums, especially like in South America, like Junior being one example, in Colombia, from Barranquilla, with like the running tracks like around, and it can be kind of difficult, and you don't have that kind of like proximity. But a lot of like the newer stadiums are obviously being built with like the new White Hart Lane. You're so close to the players, to the point that I remember the first game at the stadium, I think it was Christian Eriksen not complaining, but saying the acoustics are like so good in here, like we can't hear each other on the pitch with like the 65,000-70,000 like Spurs fans, and the noise in there is unbelievable. And it really struck me, Kezar, like most stadiums here, is open, but being on the other side to where you all are, you can hear every word. Like the players can absolutely hear everything, and for them to then come over and kind of like repay that support is it's just like a really beautiful thing to see?
Yeah, well, it was really a lot more tight knit when we first starting out, and there was 20 or 30 of us there, and some families and stuff. And like we really had an intimate relationship with the players.
Yeah.
They came back year after year. And now it's, with the new players and the more college aged players. And this, there's a lot of moving through the lineup. And
Yeah.
we did have a coach for what was it, one season, and he didn't want to come over or have the players come over, and
Oh, okay.
that was kind of it for him. We we moved on to a new coach because that's just part of the culture, is letting those kids know that we care.
Yeah.
And when you see it when we go away, like we bring 20, 30, 40 people to an away game.
Yeah.
And there's 50 parents at the match watching. So you can really see the difference when you see what the other players in the league have for support,
Yeah.
versus what we bring.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think one of the things I did want to talk to you about was, you mentioned some of the differences with perhaps other US based supporter groups from like the merch perspective, but yeah, like how do you compare to other supporter groups, whether it's other teams in USL2 or just any other, I guess, like nuances that you can point out about kind of just what fan culture is like in the US for football, especially because you have the insight into Panathinaikos, the Greek game, which is notoriously intense, like fervent support in that part of the world.
Yeah, that's kind of in my head when we were like putting the whole thing together. I wanted that level of passion just without the violence and sexism and some of the other like shocking things that happen.
Yeah.
But as far as like supporters in the US, I have no idea like how they tick.
Yeah.
I think we are better than a lot of groups at and above our level on the pyramid. Like I've been around like other teams and like for US Open Cup, and I don't want to mention names, but I'd like look around and be like, well, way better than these guys. So yeah, I don't know.
Even against the Fuego back in the day, they'd have 300 people popping smoke and waving flags, and the 30 of us that drove 4 hours to be there would be louder than they were in their own stadium.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with Pete on that. I just haven't seen it anywhere, and just PDL, all the places we've been to get to USL2. Parents show up, friends of the players, things like that, but that's not supporter culture.
Right, it's more of a passive affair.
I think Mallie, since you've been up in like Portland,
from the Timbers,
they're pretty strong as far as like what I've heard. So I think
it's a great atmosphere there, but I would say one of the big differences for our supporters is that we're serious about supporting the team and deeply unserious about ourselves. And I think that's a critical difference. But I think it makes it just a great atmosphere and loud and present, and also we don't take ourselves seriously in any way.
Yeah,
like there's some songs that it's like, dude, Jason, you've been singing the song for 10 years and you're still not getting it right. Don't worry, because that's so on brand for us.
Yeah.
So
people can start a song, out of nowhere, and if they come and teach it to us, we'll pick it up, try it out, throw something out there.
Good and simple enough, we'll just start singing it with them.
Yeah.
And so that's, I guess, the explosion, we'll call it, of other supporters groups and other interests has just been mind-boggling a little bit for us.
Yeah.
Especially these Keyser Union kids.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing that level of support, from their, we call them kids because they're in high school still.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah. No, we had them here last week. This episode will air after theirs airs. I will say this episode will air, it will be after the season has ended. The last game's next Wednesday, July 9th. But yeah, this will be, you know, after theirs, and you'll see they showed a lot of love and a lot of appreciation for you all, and the kind of mentorship role that you've kind of taken up, Pete, with them, and yeah, I mean, really remarkable. Like the kind of like the initiative, the like passion, and also the like each of those things can exist, but for it to exist with the kind of like motivations that they have, you know, behind those actions was really striking to me. Yeah, we had a really lovely chat, really like great group of guys, and I'm really excited for people to see that episode, because it was yeah, it was a good time. And I think that, you know,
wait.
as with the Northsiders, it's a story worth following for sure. And yeah, I guess, you know, the songs is something that are so important. Had conversations with other fans, and just, you know, stepping into a football stadium, whether it's a 70,000 seater, whether it's an 8,000 seater, whether there's 1,500 people there, there's an energy that like is, you know, generated and contained and like transmitted from whatever concentration of like bodies, essentially, right? And I think the song element of it is so fundamental to like football culture, and especially I think you get a sense of like how inviting an energy that a certain group may have, in terms of like, oh, I feel like I can join in, or like maybe this one isn't for me, or like, but I feel like every song at an SF City game, especially being led by like the Northsiders, and, you know, with Kizar Union there, I don't know if Fault Line Offenders have come onto the scene. I think they're maybe the most recent group as well. It always feels like, you know, this isn't like an exclusive song that's kind of inaccessible. Like, it really does feel like anyone can just kind of join and like sing along, which is awesome. And I think really just like speaks to, you know, what you all bring in terms of what, you know, what Northsiders are all about. So I'm interested to hear about like the writing of the songs and like the lyrics.
Well, I think starting with, there's a difference between noise at a sporting event,
Yeah,
and a concentrated effort to bring a message through the song, you know, to bring the players up. It's one thing to be cheered for and hear a bunch of noise, but when you hear the song, you know, it means something. It's and it brings us together, I think. I don't know, the songs just kind of, anyone who wants to write a song can kind of write one, and if it catches on, you know, we keep singing them, sort of.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of how it works.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Because I mean, you've got quite a repertoire.
Actually, we have probably more songs we've forgotten than
Yeah.
both clubs
For real.
have. Yeah.
A lot of the teams that we would sing about aren't around anymore.
Right.
Or
So
player-specific songs that
Yeah.
don't necessarily, like Plecorius, you know. So we had a song for a player named George Plecorius, right? And like, it's just not every day you're gonna put that song on
Right.
someone else.
Yeah, you're waiting for another.
You're waiting for
rhyming,
another rhyming
multi-syllabic name to come
yeah.
through.
So I think, you know, there's just a lot of, you know, forgotten songs or unused anymore as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's some great songs. I think When the Fog Comes Rolling In, as a Tottenham fan, I feel like the first time I heard it, I just, you know, I still had that melody ringing in my ear from us winning the Europa League, and so I was like, this is great. But yeah, there's some great chants in there.
Some of our best like song people aren't local anymore. So that I really miss like Ted.
Yeah.
He was great. But we had,
you know, making up songs to Katy Perry,
right,
and stuff to sing. So, you know, like, it's interesting that
there was
the range of,
and there was like different philosophies. Like, we should make more based on like popular like pop songs to get like the casual fans involved.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we should do every song to Christmas carols or like Disney or Farmer in the Dell.
Or local San Francisco groups or songs that mention San Francisco.
Yeah.
Or like copycats, right? We just didn't want to go, what are all the great soccer songs?
Yeah.
Let's just put our twist
right
on all of them and call it a day.
Yeah.
Which that happens. That's part of organic football culture around the world. People sing the same songs and throw in different versions at them, and
right, those exchanges almost a part of the part of the vernacular.
And taking like the argument that We Built This City on Rock and Roll is the worst song ever, that we knew we're gonna piss people off if we sing that, and just change the words to make it our thing.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of like Googling, what are the worst songs ever? And like, oh, we had a great version of that. So there's always, yeah, we do sing about effing this person, and like things get a little borderline, but that is what it is, and that's part of it.
Yeah.
But we always try and have a little bit of humor, I think.
Yeah.
And that's something that's totally just happened.
Yeah.
Like not on purpose.
Yeah.
And I have to tell him all the time, like, dude, we're not Weird Al. Like, we're getting a little too Weird Al.
I have a laundry list of songs that will probably never make it. Either too complicated.
Right. Can't get hold of an accordion.
Yeah. Then you just need more organization to do songs.
Yeah.
More complicated songs. So
yeah.
I got my notebook.
Right.
Maybe you'll see him someday.
Sometimes people try stuff out and it fizzles, and that's okay too.
Yeah, I mean, you talk a bit about, the identity like in the songs as well, and obviously kind of shaping them to who the Northsiders are, who SF City are as a club, and San Francisco as a city as well. One of the things that we've been talking a lot with people is just about SF City as an embodiment of San Francisco as a city, and what kind of SF City, how does it represent San Francisco to you?
Well, just the diversity and vibrancy you see at these matches, and people are coming out to spend the day with their fan. It brings all kinds of people together. I think we've seen a lot of that this season.
Yeah,
it's a welcoming space. It's really a neighbor. It feels like a neighborhood club, and that's every neighborhood is welcome to that. But that environment and that vibe of being a neighborhood space.
And especially now, since so many of our neighbors are under attack by like the current administration and those cronies, I want this club to be a place where they feel protected and stood up for, and we will stand by and in front and protect anybody that feels that way or is under attack in that way. Like, those guys will have to get through us to get to them, and that's like core mission type thing.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think the club in general this year, reaching out, and last year getting our kit ideas from local artists, really looking to the different neighborhoods of San Francisco and seeing how we can highlight, San Francisco is an amazing city. So, we got that to, draw on. There's a wealth to be found here. Just all you have to do is open your eyes and look around.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. I think that's definitely something that I've seen with my experience, coming to games this season. I'm excited to get on the road and come to my first away game next season as well. I think this
So a lot of fun.
This year's schedule kind of made that a bit more challenging, but the kind of like torrent of like home game after home game has also been a lot of fun as well. So yeah, we are unfortunately out of time, so I am going to wrap things up. But yeah, it went very quickly. But thank you so much. It was great. Yeah, it was great chatting with the three of you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us in, and
of course,
spotlighting the team in general. Like once again, the Northsiders or whatever. We're all here about the team, so it's
absolutely. I think this is fundamentally a club for the people, and that that is just abundantly clear in each of the supporter groups that we've spoken to, that bring their own flavor of expression to that.
Then it's just great seeing that it's not just a supporter group being the supporters of the club.
Yeah.
You know, seeing the growth and to the city, and bringing the people in to see what we're offering. It's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
For sure. No, it's something special. So yeah, thanks for everything that you do. And yeah, so I'll sign off. Thank you so much to Jason, Pete, Mallie from the Northsiders. This has been another episode of Public Access FC. Thank you for watching, and please tune in again next time. Cheers.